The Ngorongoro Conservation Area in northern Tanzania stretches across some 8,300 square kilometers and is regarded as the eighth wonder of the world. The attraction of this area is the Ngorongoro Crater, a breathtaking setting that never ceases to captivate visitors. It has been described as one of the great natural wonders of the world. Some have said this is Earth's wild miracle. 8 million years ago, it was an active volcano and towered alongside Mount Kilimanjaro as one of the highest peaks in Africa. Forged during the tumultuous birth of the Rift Valley, its cone collapsed, forming a crater 610 meters deep. Its floor covering an area of 260 square kilometers. This is the Ngorongoro Crater. It is the world's largest unbroken volcanic caldera, which is neither active nor flooded. As spectacular as it is, the crater accounts for just a tenth of the Ngorongoro Conservation Area. In 1979, it was declared a World Heritage Site and has been classified as a Biosphere Reserve by UNESCO. The steep sides of the crater make it a natural enclosure to a wild variety of wildlife. Almost every species of African plains mammals live in the crater. It also has the highest density of mammalian predators in Africa. It provides refuge for the dwindling elephant herds and has one of the last remaining wild populations of rhinoceroses in East Africa. Lake Makati, fed by the Munje River, is a soda lake at the crater's base and the main attraction for seasonal aquatic birdlife. Pelicans and waders such as yellow-billed storks are common visitors to these thick, viscous, soda-rich waters. Flamingos gather in large numbers to feed on the nutritious aquatic soup before returning to Lake Natron further north, the only known breeding ground of these colourful East African birds. Huge swamps filled by springs are vital to the wildlife for sustenance. Maasai tribesmen also rely on the swamps and small springs that can be found around the crater floor as watering places for their cattle. They can often be seen moving their herds in and out of the crater, totally oblivious to the dangers surrounding them. The Maasai and their cattle coexist with nature in this area, and visitors are able to appreciate this ancient interplay between wildlife and man. Views from the rim of the crater are sensational. The crater floor is mainly open, short grass plains that blend into fresh and saline lakes, marshes, swamps, and 2 patches of acacia woodlands. It is here, recessed into the edge of the ancient crater rim, that we find Ngorongoro Crater Lodge. This is a sumptuous and wonderfully decadent place. From the outside, the unobtrusive lodge looks like a Maasai village. It consists of 3 adjacent camps with Maasai-inspired suites perched on stilts. Visitors stay in one of the 30 ensuite stone and thatched cottages. Each room boasts huge beds, a ball and claw tub in the middle of the bathroom, and large glass windows throughout to enjoy the spectacular views of the crater. The colonial-style interiors combine carved Zanzibar wall panelling, wrought ironwork, antiques, crystal chandeliers and Persian carpets, which unify with African art elements in an unexpected harmony. The treehouse viewing deck offers the guests never-ending views of the crater floor. Activities include open vehicle game drives. A limited number of tour operators have access to the crater, and stopping in the shade of a tree close to the lake shores for lunch is a daily highlight. The lake is home to herds of hippos that are rare in the area. Hippos graze on the shoreline. A hyena wades in the water in an attempt to rid itself of parasites. The hyena leaves at the sight of an approaching male lion. The Ngorongoro Crater is one of the world's greatest natural spectacles, boasting a blend of landscapes, wildlife and ethnic people. Be sure to visit it when you trek Africa. Southeast of the Ngorongoro Crater, sheltered under the massive escarpment of the Great Rift Valley, lies Lake Manyara National Park, the smallest of the northern parks in Tanzania. The Rift Valley escarpment forms a noteworthy landmark and provides a magnificent backdrop to Lake Manyara, a scenic gem, and was described by Ernest Hemingway as the loveliest lake in Africa. The alkaline waters of Lake Manyara cover 2/3 of the 330 square kilometers that make up Lake Manyara National Park. The lake is an ornithologist's highlight, as thousands of pink-hued flamingos journey past the lake on their perpetual migration route and is home to other large water birds. A yellow-billed stork feeds, occasionally using its wings as umbrellas to reduce the reflection of light on the water's surface in order to see its prey. Small freshwater streams tumble off the Rift Valley wall, emptying gently into the still water alkaline lake, ideal feeding ground for birds and mammals alike. Fish eagles are one of the many different birds of prey found in this region. Large herds of ungulates, like those of the wildebeest, can be seen strolling back to the grassy plains after a drink at the lake. Hippos grunt as they scrum and joust for space in their pools. A forest of acacia trees is an integral food source for the elephant population. In the early 1970s, poaching saw the near decimation of elephants in the area. The herds are building up again and can often be seen along the roadside having a sand bath. While the calves frolicking and discovering life around them. The giraffes of Lake Manyara have only one natural predator, the lion. Although in the 1800s, the giraffe population was severely diminished through man's indiscriminate hunting of the animal for its hide. Toughness and its extreme length made giraffe hide ideal for long wagon whips, wagons being the only mode of transport in those days. A series of springs support the lush vegetation of the groundwater forest, where vervet monkeys and baboons live with more than 350 bird species. This is also home to the shy, diminutive dik-dik. Also small but certainly not demure, Majimoto Tented Camp nestles near the shade of acacia trees on the shores of Lake Manyara. The tents stand impressively in the thick bush. Huge beds dominate the interiors and the built-on bathrooms. The outside showers offer all the comforts of home in this wild part of Africa. The living and dining area has a Moorish theme and white and ochre furnishings, with big cushions and low tables. The interiors are dotted with African artifacts and baskets. Fine cuisine and personalised service are an integral part of the grand safari ambience. From here, take a 4x4 vehicle and set out to explore the scenic wilderness in the compact game viewing circuit of Manyara. In his book, Green Hills of Africa, Ernest Hemingway fondly wrote how this country's pristine beauty grips and holds the heart and makes only one wish, to return one day. You are sure to feel the same about Tanzania when you trek Africa.